Sarah Lesko.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks. I'm super excited to chat with you. Yeah, wild writing is a type of writing where you're just answering prompts and then using kind of a generic prompt to dive into a memory or a topic. So it'll be like, I remember, and then you just write for 10 minutes. And there's a few rules. You just have to write using your hands, so not on the computer, and write, pen to paper and use the prompt, and that's it.
Okay, I'm sorry. So, Dr. Sarah Lesko. Sarah is the executive director, co-founder of Bras for Girls. You have been. I had to do a deep dive on you. I saw that you are an Ivy League. You went to Yale, undergrad, molecular biology. Then you got your medical degree from UPenn, and then you have a master's in public health from UW, University of Washington. I've been to the campus. And you also were a doctor. You had a practice where you worked with underprivileged people in the San Francisco and Seattle areas. So you have
Mhm.
been doing stuff for the better good of society. You also are a Seattle Torrent season ticket holder. And Saturday, I went to the game at the Garden where the
Oh,
Torrent
yay.
played against the Sirens. 18,000 people. I see you're wearing a Torrent. Is that a Torrent jersey you're wearing right now?
Yep.
Respect.
Torrent.
And how did Bras for Girl come about?
Yeah, I
Because
mean, it just
yeah,
started as a side project, really. And then the need kept just flowing in. So the first year, I was working with a women's athletic apparel company, advising on community projects and their elite athletes. And we had some extra bra inventory. And research was coming out of the UK, the most influential bra testing lab in the world. And they had surveyed schoolgirls and found that lack of a sports bra and lack of information about how to fit a sports bra were material reasons why girls turned away from sports. And so we thought, hey, we'll solve this, do a little program, put this inventory to good use. And without any outbound advertising, I got requests for almost 70,000 sports bras in 9 months from programs in the US. And so it was
wow.
quickly apparent that this was actually a huge problem, and something that was not one company was going to solve it. So the seed was planted then to spin off as a nonprofit, which we finally did in 2021. And since then, it's just grown leaps and bounds. So last year, we distributed over 88,000 sports bras to girls. And, we have really worked on the educational piece as well, making sure that every girl knows how to fit a sports bra and knowing that she belongs in sports regardless of, the changes that her body might be going through.
And I saw you're doing a collab with Bellevue College in Washington State to develop curriculum for working with elementary, middle, and high school PE teachers and coaches. That I guess you're looking to expand. You're working with 50 states and 15 countries, if I'm correct, right
Hmm.
now. You're collaborating with. I mean,
Yep.
that's amazing. So this is almost like a what you want to like a petri dish almost in a way. Like well, it's not a petri. You're actually making it work, but it's you're starting here and then you're going to expand it to all over the country. Is that the goal?
We actually already serve all over the country. So programs will just request sports bras, and we send it out
Okay.
anywhere. We also have a great volunteer pool that's all over the country. So in many places, if they want a local person to come and help with the actual distribution and the fitting, we can provide that connection. So we have this great community of volunteers from all over, who've been educated in our work and know how to do the fitting and know how to do the educational curriculum as well.
And I also saw that 11 of 11 runners at the New York City Marathon was that last year raised over $78,000
Yeah.
for the. I mean,
Yeah. It's so
now
fun.
because I also yeah. So you're on the board of directors of the USA Track and Field Foundation. Did you? That's what was in my head. So were you a runner in college? Were you always in sports growing up? Is this a problem that you felt as a woman that that you saw friends that maybe were giving up sports? Even back then, something was in the back of your head, kind of like, wow, something's because I've seen reports where most kids stop playing sports at the age of 12, 13. And I would think
Yep.
for a young girl, if they don't have the proper equipment, that would
Yep.
even faster. They're like, right.
Absolutely. That's one of the reasons that girls turn away from sports. And I think, myself, a sports bra. I was a late developer, a late bloomer, so it wasn't as much my problem, but sports definitely changed the whole trajectory of my life. I grew up in a very poor, split parent home. We lived in all kinds of chaotic conditions, and just the fact that I was able to start running and then I got recruited to attend an Ivy League college completely changed my life. And so I really recognize the value of sports to have that positive impact on everyone. And the fact that lack of a simple piece of equipment like a sports bra would mean that a girl wouldn't get all of those positive benefits of doing sports just breaks my heart. So that's what keeps me going. And some of the programs that we go to, some of these PE classes, there are girls who, they've been trying to do PE literally like holding their chests and not participating in the activities. And then after they get a good, well fitting sports bra, all of a sudden they're participating and then they see themselves. They can say, like, oh, I can see that I could do track and field and these events appeal to me. That looks like fun. All of a sudden they can consider those options.
Because I saw some of the things you wrote. It was like a newfound confidence. It was a self-esteem, like just getting the proper equipment. Like they saw, like, oh my, I can do, like you said, running. I mean, I'm a man, so I don't, but I could understand where I see that, and I'm like, it's amazing how just a simple thing can change everything. You actually had at the March 11th game, you had the first ever bra toss where you
Yeah.
collected over 1,300 bras. I mean, and that's the thing now too, which I love, is that you have the PWHL, you have the NWSL, you have the WNBA. So women can see that girls can see that that there are opportunities now, which even we're the same age. I feel like with 91, we're about the same age,
Hmm.
and that those weren't opportunities that they had back then. I mean, there was no hockey league, there was no basketball league. I
Yep.
mean, everything. It was, you played in the Olympics, maybe you played in college, and that was it. Or you had an Olympic sport, like, and that was, and maybe that. But other than that, you really didn't have any opportunities like you have now. So I love that you had the PWHL event to have a bra toss, which is like, and I went to we went to the game at Madison Square Garden, 18,000 people, set a record. And I saw all these women, and you also support transgender and all that stuff, which is a hot topic. But everybody deserves, you know you are who you are, and I feel like more and more we're being tested with that. And
Yep.
I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
I
Yeah, I
ramble
mean,
sometimes,
and that's the
so I
part of it. It's
apologize.
like we want to make sure that everyone knows that they have a place in sports. If they want to do sports, they should be able to do so comfortably. And that's every person. And so that's what we try to have our services be as inclusive as possible. And, anyone who needs a piece of equipment, we also provide, we started manufacturing sport hijabs as well for girls who need head coverings, because sometimes that's the reason why girls may not do sports. They're like, oh, I don't have the right piece of equipment. So we started manufacturing those too to get them to girls. And, we just want to remove those barriers.
And you have some of the things I wrote down. Every girl deserves access to sports. Sports bra isn't just gear. You matter, your body matters, and that your journey matters. And I just thought that was, because that's what we don't think about, and these are, every kid should get an opportunity. I just feel like
Hmm.
this is our future. And if we're pushing them away, and I just feel like it's teamwork, it's stuff. Everybody's on the phone so much now. It's just nice to
Yeah.
be in an athletic setting, and everybody with all the drugs, and everybody's taking the weight loss drugs. And I feel like if people got out there and just moved a little bit, it helps with mental health. I mean, there's
Yep.
so many things your organization is helping with. So I just loved it. Bras for Girls supports girls and their relationship with movement for life. Girls plus sports equals a beautiful world. Many girls are forced to walk away from sports because they lack the gear they need to succeed, which is, yeah, like you said, it's just like the simple thing. And you said you grew up in, that was an opportunity going to Yale. Did you know you wanted to be a doctor? I mean, at a young age, did you always know you wanted to help people?
I mean, I love science. I was always that kid who loved the science classes and science projects, but yeah, it wasn't really in my idea of something that I could do, that it was in the realm of possibility until I went to college, and then I was like, oh, I'm the same as all these other students, and they want to go to med school. They think they can do it, so I can do it too. So it's really that. And if I never would have gone to college, then I'm sure I would never have thought of that. So it's definitely that recognition of, oh, if girls are just exposed to the opportunities when they're younger, then gives them the permission to fulfill their potential.
Exactly. Now, what did you? I'm curious. What did you competed in college? What events? What was your running wise?
Yeah, so I was a miler was my specialty, the 1500 and mile, but I also did drop down to the 4x4, 800, and also did cross country. So I was the cross country captain in fall of 1990. So
Wow, very impressive. Wow. Now, do you run still? Are you still in? Do you still run? Like, are you a marathon? Have you done the New York City Marathon? I saw pictures of you,
I
and I was like,
have
wow, I wish I'd
I
met you last year.
I've done 2 marathons. So I did Marine Corps and then I did New York in 2022, which was
Okay.
a hot year. It was like 75 degrees at the start. So it was very unpleasant experience for me personally. But we love the New York Marathon. We love partnering with them. So I'm more of a shorter distance person, but now the body talks back a little bit. So I just run like 4 days a week,
Yes.
4 miles or so. Nothing too dramatic.
So, my girlfriend's brother lives in Boulder, so I did it a couple years ago, and I'm going to do the Boulder on Memorial Day, the 10K,
Fun.
which they got like 30,000 runners out there. So I was like, wow. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I was. I'm just so impressed with how many people since you start 220,000 over 220,000 sports bras donated since 2017. Did you
Mhm.
expect it to take off? I know you have a plan, and you sent. I looked at some of your what was what you sent me? The oh god, I'm blanking on what you sent me to look over. It was
Oh, the
the
impact report.
presentation, all the
Mm.
yes,
Mhm.
and so you even have planned for the next 3 years with a doctor. I want to find her name.
Oh yeah, we have
She's
an
doing the next
evaluation
three.
plan. Mhm.
Right, right. The evaluation plan for the next 3 years.
Mhm.
So is
Mhm.
it taking off even further than you thought it would when you first started it? I mean, you're probably every year you're seeing different outlets and different ways to go forward with this.
Yeah, it's really been kind of an organic growth, which has been nice, right? To see like, oh, where is the energy? Where is the need? How can we meet this? So, I think the big push that we've done recently is on this education side and the curriculum side, which is going to be fully scalable because we will provide that for free, downloadable from our website for anyone. And so that's like we can reach anyone. And then, yes, we want to provide sports bras to as many girls as we can, but we obviously can't provide sports bras to everyone in the country and the world who needs it, but we can provide people with the information so that they can know how to access a sports bra.
I even saw you had a bra fit. What's that? I always forget what that they can click on
Oh
for
yeah, it's like a
the
calculator, a guide, and yep.
right. I thought that was. I said that's great. I just feel like it's such an awkward age for a girl that age to ask for help. They're probably like all shy, and you're giving them an outlet, and everybody is now with social media and everything. So you're on. I saw Bras for Girls is on Instagram. Is it? Do you do TikTok too? Are you all over the place, or is it really
we we would
Instagram
like
mostly?
to. That's kind of TikTok's like a young person's game, right? So we had an intern one
Right.
year who started our TikTok channel, and it was great. But then she went to college, so we're looking for the right person. If there's someone out there who wants to run our TikTok, we would be so thankful.
Yes, that's what I was going to ask you because I'm everywhere, but I'm like with the TikTok. I said, oh no, I don't dance or I do any of that stuff. But I thought that was really interesting with on that front. I was like, but yeah, it's amazing how social media you can put stuff out there and then it's like that's how I found you with the bra toss, and I was
Mm,
like, that's
amazing.
that's such a great idea. Are you going to try to do it at other? Have you any other PWHL teams, maybe WNBA? I mean, are you getting a team in Seattle? Is there a team coming to Seattle? No, it's Portland. Portland's a
So
team,
we already
but I
have a
would thought a
team.
WNBA.
Yeah,
Yes,
we have the Storm here, and it's great. And yeah, we're hoping to
yes,
talk with the PWHL about possibly doing a sports bra toss on the ice with each of the teams next year, which would be super fun. It was just like a really uplifting evening, just because the fans got so into it. And it was
they
great
did.
because they
Yeah,
would, we'd ask them, people would be walking by, and we'd say, hey, do you want to donate, get your sports bra to toss on the ice? And so many people were just incredibly enthusiastic about it. So it was really, kind of a buoying uh, evening. But yeah, with this, we'd love to work with the WNBA. I mean, yes, the answer is yes for everyone.
right. Yes, yeah, because they just added two more teams, and I'm thinking because I try to go to. I went to a game I think 2 years ago at the Liberty, and I think it's great, and I just think the fans are into it, and I just feel like that'd be a great idea to have it there,
Yeah,
and
it's
you have
so
young
fun.
kids and everything. So
Yeah.
right,
See,
I thought
you
that
got
would.
to see Ellie the elephant, the mascot.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, Ellie does her own dance.
I know.
She got a ring when they won the when they went. I thought that was so great. I was like, oh my God. And that's what drives me crazy. I know a lot of people will not talk about women's sports, and I'm all for talking about. I just think it's. I mean, I was watching the women's hockey this year at the Olympics. I thought that was fantastic. We went. I mean, it was great at the end. Hillary Knight had to take a penalty shot, and they were booing her. The siren fans were booing, and I just thought, wow, they're
Mm.
really into the game. They were cheering here at the beginning, but then it was like, hey, you're not on our team. But everybody said it was like this amazing experience. Yeah, I mean, I just think, I just feel like that what you're doing is something that people need to hear more often. Like you're doing such fantastic work. Yeah, you're donating new, high quality sports bras and breast development education booklets to girls in need, age 8 to 18, including to sports teams, schools, and community programs and other initiatives. I was like, I mean, to elevate girls' access to sport. It just, it's a wonderful thing. Everything you're doing. I mean, you basically could be doing this 24/7. I would you have a board of directors, and it's all right. I mean, it's all volunteers basically. So,
Yeah.
like, let me just ask you. So, like here in New York, who's your go-to person here in New York? Who do you work with specifically, like in the New York City area?
Yeah, we have close relationship with NYRR, which is great, and we have we actually have 25 bibs for this fall for the marathon, so it'll be a big time for us. And then while we're in New York, we do a ton of different donation programs. So we've worked with the Harlem Figure Skating Club; they're a great group. We work with Beat the Streets Wrestling,
Right.
awesome group. So many schools in the five boroughs. So yeah, we've distributed worked with so many programs in the city, and it's a wonderful environment. There's so many people. Oh, this great basketball program called Grow Our Game, which is run by this you know woman who played collegiate basketball, and now she just gives back to the community and provides basketball training for girls who don't, and it's for a free program. So many great programs, and it's just New York City's special, and there's always so much going on there. So we love to work with programs there.
Now, do any of you have three children? Do any of them play? Are any of them into sports or anything?
Yeah, I have three
Like you have?
boys.
Oh yeah.
My oldest played
Oh, three
football.
boys.
Yeah. Yeah, my oldest played football in
Oh,
college,
really?
and then
Okay.
middle guy ran. And then my youngest, he was rebelling, so he didn't want to do sports. So he's very much mechanical engineering kind of guy.
Wow. Oh, that's amazing. I mean, I mean, I just went through everything you've done here is just. And how did you get involved with USA Track and Field, the Track and Field Foundation?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of the sport, and for a while we were coaching elite athletes who were competing, at U.S. championships and Olympic trials, and just wanted to find a way to give back and be able to support athletes. Track and field, if you're a star, you get compensated pretty well, but if you're up and coming, even if you're, top 10 in the US in your event, you may or may not be getting any money for it. So sometimes those athletes need a little financial support. And so this foundation does just that. They get in funds and then distribute them to athletes who need that extra help, who are have a chance to medal at the Olympics in coming years, but just need some financial support as they're getting there. So it's a super fun group to work with, and everyone's very much sport fans and geeks of track and field. So it's a really fun collective.
And you also worked with Wazelle for a long time, head
Hmm.
of corporate development. So that I mean, so it's interesting how you became you went to med school, but you never lost your love for running, and you kind of you incorporated everything into right. You just kind of
Yeah,
mixed everything together, so you never really got out of it.
yeah, it's true.
I mean, and you were a middle school head track and cross country coach for what in Mercer Island School District for over 8 years. So
Hmm.
you've done
Hmm.
and you were doing all this while you were also working as a doctor, correct? all this time you were doing all this while you were
Yeah, I mean,
also
it kind of a little
practicing
bit
medicine?
sequential, a little bit sequential, but yeah, I left medical practice in 2015, so it's been a bit of time since I've practiced medicine. Yeah.
Okay. But it and then it led to this bras for girls, which is just like you said, it's so organic. It's not that's the best thing about this. It's like you're just organically and things are just coming together. And yeah, it's a, I mean, 1,250 plus partnership with 1,250 plus organizations. I saw Brooks. Some of the names were really cool. Some of the women's groups I like, and there's a lot more women's women run companies that they're finding their names, and especially with social media, they could get themselves out there. So
Yeah,
I see that, yeah,
exactly.
some of the
Yeah.
organization.
We love working with brands. We work with over 35 different brands that donate inventory to us. And we're so proud to, a girl, when she receives her first sports bra, it's a pretty impactful moment in her life. And so it's a great, advertising and kind of consumer building moment for the brands that work with us too. So I think we have really great partnerships with all the brands that we work with, and we'd love to work with more.
And right, and I would think more and more keep reaching out, are reaching out to you over the course of time. I mean,
Hmm.
just with everything you do. Did the bra toss open a lot of people's eyes? Did a lot of people see it? Did you get a lot of
Yeah.
interest out of that? You had to get a lot. Come on, that had to be
Yeah. No,
something. Because I was like, wow, this is.
yeah, it's been super fun. And I think, the biggest thing for us is realizing that people resonate with the mission of what we're doing and recognize the importance of it. So I think for us that's what it was. It was just kind of expanding those conversations. So now when we're approaching people, we can reference it. Like, oh, hey, yes, we were involved with the sports bra toss. You probably saw people got so excited about it. So it's just another way to open those doors.
And so, Shape America, is that the Shape magazine? Is what is Shape America? Because I saw that
So
that isn't
yeah,
anything like that. That's why I was curious.
SHAPE is the Society of Health and Physical Education Teachers in the US. So it's such a great group. So, it's all these teachers at all grade levels. Um, and they come to the national conference to kind of, learn new skills and also get resources that they can use in their classes. And so for us, it was a great place to go present our curriculum that hopefully then they can use in their classrooms, the sports bra fit curriculum. So that was a really fun. We just went to Kansas City and presented there in March. And I mean, we were blown away by the quality of these teachers. They're so compassionate and knowledgeable, and it was amazing. Made me feel like really happy that these teachers are they're just so excellent, and to know that our students, our kids are kind of in the hands of these teachers was really cool.
And I feel like a lot of schools are getting rid of PE and the arts. And I feel like that's something
Yeah.
because they're trying to push more curriculum. And I feel like you got to have the kids have a time to like get out of the schoolwork and get moving a little bit. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I have a friend that's a PE teacher, and he's very passionate about what he does. He's always posting videos and the games to play with the kids. And I worked with a group. It was called USA Sports, and we did. I had the 3 to 5 year olds, and they were the best because they were just out there, and I'm just trying to get them to move. And yeah, there's something to be said about that. Yeah, I just everything. It put a smile on my face to see everything you're doing. Now I have a question for you. Binders. What are binders? I know the binders and nursing sports bra for athletes.
Oh yeah. So binders are something that youth who are maybe gender dysphoric or trans or non-binary, if they want to change the way that their body is seen by other people, they would want to wear a binder. The key thing about us is, we worked with a couple different groups with these binder education cards, and they're not for exercise because they're too constrictive on the rib cage. So they're actually not, you should not wear a binder while you're exercising. And so with the information cards that we send out, we have all that information, and then also information about what types of sports bras might meet the need of the person who wants them. If they can't wear a binder, there's these other types of sports bras that you can wear that are made for exercise. And so we really try to do kind of that public service education component with what we're doing. And with the nursing sports bras, we actually, some of the big high school programs that we work with, they have teen mothers. And so, we work with a school in Oklahoma City that they have, a cohort of young mothers who are still going to high school, and they provide all these resources for them. and these girls need to be physically active also, and so they may need a nursing sports bra because they have, some of these schools have actually a daycare in the school, and so the teen mothers can keep going to school and do all of the things. So they're going to need a nursing sports bra also. So it's just nice when companies partner with us, and this company Sweat and Milk, which does exclusively nursing sports bras, partnered with us so that we could provide those resources for the girls who needed it.
I never even. It's like you don't even think of. I'm just thinking of a bra, and now you're right. Yeah, because there are teen moms out there.
Yep.
It's wow. I was just like, yeah. I mean, it's you're right. They need to move. They need to be active, and they have different needs with their bodies that they would need a
Yep.
bra with the
Yep.
nursing. Yeah, yeah, and I love. Yeah, that's what I was looking for on one of my cards. Girls feel more secure, comfortable, and newfound confidence. And I was like, it just sounds so simple, but it really is something for them. Like you said, it is an experience getting their first sports bra where they feel they can just play and not think about it.
Exactly. Exactly.
I,
It's a very small intervention, but what we found is it has an outsized impact because it's a very personal moment, in a girl's life when she needs a sports bra. And so to be able to provide it at the time that she needs it with the information she needs and to make sure it feels comfortable, it's hugely impactful. The sports bras that we give out, we're able to manufacture them for $10 a bra. And so that's, it's pretty low cost for something that's going to potentially change someone's life.
where is it manufactured? You said you manufacture it. Is there a specific place you get the bras from in that where they're manufactured from?
Yeah, so we work with all of these companies that donate product, but what we found recently, especially with all of the tariff volatility, that in-kind donations really dropped off significantly, and we needed to pivot to being able to have a reliable source of inventory. So we have three different partner manufacturers who we work with currently. Two are in Asia and one's in Central America, and they're wonderful, wonderful partners. They're excited about our mission. They give us good at cost pricing, and so we're really happy that we've been able to build up those relationships. It's been challenging. We didn't think that we would start out to be a sports bra manufacturer. So that's been another way that we've grown organically and in a direction that we maybe wouldn't have predicted, but it's working well for us now. So we do a lot of fundraising to cover the costs of manufacturing those sports bras. It's kind of our biggest cost as an organization.
What are there specific athletes? Especially now with all these new athletes, are there any specific athletes that have come to you and been like, "Well, we want to work with you"? Or any? I mean, I know you did the event with the torrent in the PWHL, but any specific athletes in that respect? I was just
Yeah, I
curious.
mean, that's something that we're working on, is kind of building out more of that ambassador and spokesperson network. So I think it's a great idea. We'll keep
Right.
working with, we love the new women's pro baseball league that's starting, and Kelsey Whitmore, who's a pitcher, who's going to be a star on the San Francisco team. She came out and was the keynote speaker at our event in January in Seattle, and she's fantastic, wonderful. Her story is amazing. So looking to get more and more relationships with athletes like Kelsey.
That's all right. You're right. It's going to be and the girl who competed at the Little League World Series, she was drafted on one of the teams, and I think Tom Brady's niece is playing the league. Right. It's going to
Amazing.
be a fast pitch. It's going to be that's amazing. Just, I just like I've been watching stuff where there's a woman who was 81 years old and she said I couldn't play. I wasn't allowed to play hockey, and then she was playing on her own, and I was just like women are crying. I was watching UCLA women play, and Close, the head coach, was there with her mom, and her mom was like, "Who would think we'd get to this level where we'd be able to, filling up the stands and everything?" I just think
Yeah.
it's a great time. I think what you're doing is fantastic. You know, and all the correct. Oh, and that's what I saw. 40% growth from 2024 to 25. 40%. That's the
Mhm.
numbers you had were staggering. I was like, it's amazing how much you're getting out there and how much 88,000 in 1 year alone. What are your projections for 2026 so far? I mean, you're going to outdo 88,000, I would think.
I mean, I don't know that we are, just mostly because of financial constraints of manufacturing. So it really depends what kind of financial
Right.
partnerships we can make. I mean, we have the demand to easily send out 100, 150,000 sports bras are coming in. Right now we're having to, like, a little bit triage the requests that come in, because we just don't have the inventory purely for financial reasons. So we're looking to, make some more long-term relationships, year over year, so that we can better predict that. So we'll definitely hit at least over 60,000, probably over 88, but we're not sure yet.
So it's a constant. It is a constant. You're always trying to find new partners to work with to help
Yep,
the situation. It's a never is it an it's never ending, is it? It's just you constantly can find somebody new to. There's always somebody new out there.
absolutely,
There's always somebody else to talk to. Right.
absolutely.
Yeah. I was thinking absolute. So and your day. So you're based out of Washington in the Seattle area. Is that where you live right now?
Yep, we're in
And it's
Seattle.
beautiful out there. I went out.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's beautiful right now. Sometimes it's a little dark and rainy, but now it's beautiful.
So that's where you're based out of. And you are doing events all over the country with every like so with the marathons, it's really New York. Is that one of the big ones for you guys? Is
Yep,
the
that's
New
the
York City
only
Marathon?
marathon partner that we have. It's kind of a big lift for our team to support the runners. We want to do that in an effective way. So, and since we do so much work in New York City, also it makes sense to be there. So that's currently our only marathon where we fundraise. But yeah, we have a warehouse in Soto, just like south of the stadiums here in Seattle, and it's kind of a co-working warehouse space. But we have two huge rooms that are packed with sports bra inventory, and we ship from there. So we ship all over the country, and that's it's great.
And and your free time. So and you like to knit. I found out you like to knit. You're a knitting, but I've heard that's very relaxing. I've heard that, Sarah. It's very relaxing to do the knitting. My
It's very
niece, my
relaxing.
girlfriend's niece,
Yeah.
does it. Yeah, because I mean now, yeah, because once I just feel like if there's an event in New York or something, I would love to help to contribute to you all. I've done, anything I could do to help out. I would love to help out in the future. So that's why
Amazing.
another
Well,
reason why I wanted to reach out to you.
that's so great. Well, we'll definitely be in New York City for, at least a week around the marathon in the fall, and I'll probably be out earlier. Well, this summer, so the US National Championships for track and field are at the Icon Stadium um in
Oh, they
July.
are.
So, yep, yep. So I'll definitely be there in July.
I've run that. I've run near the stadium before. I've run over there. I've run over the
Amazing.
bridge and gone. Because the Oregon has the what's it Hayward
Mhm.
Field, is that what it
Yep.
is? That's
Yep.
they redid the whole thing. It's gorgeous over
Yep.
there. So you still go to a lot of you go to the did you get to go to the Olympics at all in
I went
the
to
with
Paris.
work with track
Yeah.
and field and all that?
That was amazing. What a games. It was amazing.
Oh, so I found something interesting out there. So Allison Felix says when she took maternity leave, her sponsors did not drop her when she wasn't competing and she was on maternity. And I thought that was kind of interesting that they lost compensation when they took time off to have a family, which I thought was like, this is ridiculous. Men don't
Yeah.
lose it, and then they fought for that and they changed that. And I was like, wow, that's
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, I mean, Allison Felix and Alicia Montano really did so much advocacy around that. And now for pro contracts for runners, they actually have you can take maternity leave and you don't get penalized.
So I got a question for you. Where do you see the organization in 10 years? Do you see it? I mean, it's going to keep growing organically. Is there something you like a wish list for something in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I think,
I
I
mean,
mean, ideally, if we do our best work, then we work ourselves out of existence because in the best of all worlds is girls are just getting the education they need about fitting a sports bra. It's part of their PE or part of their classes already, and they have access to if they can't afford a sports bra, it'll just be part of that PE equipment or that sports equipment that if you're, on scholarship, you're going to get that also. Ideally, that would just be part of the culture of girls in sport and girls in PE. And so I think ideally we want to just have our curriculum in every PE department that it's just part of every year. The girls get the education around fitting a sports bra. They know what size they are. They can then go to their parent and talk about it. And there's no taboo with it. Especially around, male coaches. Some of the ways that we connect with male coaches, if they don't feel comfortable, they don't want to say the wrong thing, which I understand. It's like a tricky environment, but really positioning it as essential equipment and also necessary for safety and for performing your sport excellently. If you don't have the properly fitting sports bra, it actually puts you more at risk for ACL tear. Because if you think about it in a plant sport like soccer, you're extending your leg, you're planting. If you don't have the right support, it's going to make more forces transmit through your leg. So those studies are coming out, and it just kind of helps position the sports bra as equipment rather than apparel.
It just sounds so simple, but it really isn't. That's what you do. Yeah, you're right. Because exactly, like if the bounce is off, if the bra's infant, then all of a sudden, right. All you gotta want the wrong way, you're putting more weight where it shouldn't be, and then right, and women are susceptible to ACL tears anyway.
Yep.
And why make it harder if they don't have the right equipment to do that? And I can understand as a male coach, he'd be like, but that's the thing now. You should be able to like say, hey, you know what?
Right.
And you're working on getting them. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was like,
Yeah,
no,
no,
but
exactly. That's exactly it. It's just like, raising the comfort level for everyone, because it should be fine for everyone to talk about it. And that's really our goal, is just to kind of normalize the conversation, change the culture so that everyone feels comfortable and people know where to get resources if they need them.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Now, people can find. I was trying to. So you're on Instagram. Where can people find you? That's some of the things I wanted to ask before.
Yeah, so
I know you're busy. I know you're very.
our website has a great repository for all the information. So it's just brasforgirls.org, written out, bras, FOR, girls. And on our website, there's all the different ways to get involved. So there's information about volunteering around the country, how to request sports bras for an organization. We also have a bra fit video on the website, and a sports bra fit calculator where you can just plug in your measurements and then get shown various sizes of bras that might work for you. And then our curriculum, we're just building out the pages now. It's in the final testing, and then the curriculum will be free downloadable also from our website, likely in the next 4 weeks.
Really, and that all started at Bellevue College. All that started with your partnership with Bellevue College.
Yeah, with their physical education department. So they train a lot of the PE teachers in Washington State, and just do a lot of work with the physiology and also types of curricula that work for different ages of kids. So we've been blessed to work with a couple curriculum advisors who've been fantastic, and there are different versions of it. We're going to have a 20-minute video that you can just press play on, or if someone feels comfortable facilitating, we basically have a script and a slideshow.
Wow! So it's all right there, all on the website.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's fantastic. I know you're a busy person. I didn't want to keep you too long, but I just wanted to. And I'd love to have you on again if in the future, if you're interested. And I'd love to meet you when you're in New York. So I can volunteer. I can look for volunteer opportunities. If you do an event, I have done Voice of God at some events, and I would love to. I would love to give my services where I could just do all the MC and everything.
That'd be lovely.
I'd be honored. Anything in this. I would love to help you out in the future. So I know you're very busy, and I love you wearing the jersey. I think it's fantastic.
Had to represent.
Actually, I like your. Yeah, I like your jersey. I didn't love. And do you know what to do with the siren games? My girlfriend was going to go crazy. They go for siren. They go wee woo wee woo. She goes, I'm gonna kill somebody. That's what they do with the whole game. They kept going wee woo wee woo, and she was like, ugh. So I thought that was, but they really were. They were into it. So respect. I was glad we went. So
yeah, it's a fun game.
So
and went to penalties.
It is
right. Yeah, or overtime. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. They lost. Yes. And actually, it was you were up 1-0, and they got to go with like 3.5 minutes left, and then overtime, and then we went to penalty shots. Yeah. It was great. It was fantastic. It was electric. It really was. And a Broadway singer, she sang the national anthem. She was fantastic. Yeah,
amazing.
It was a lot of fun.
And Billie Jean King dropped the puck, which for her, like, she's been working in this space obviously for more than 50 years, and I know it was a big full circle moment for her.
Exactly. That I was blown away that she was there. I was like, oh my God, they got Billie Jean to come, but they knew it was such a big event. Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, she's the godmother. She really is. She changed everything for sports.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought. Maybe in Seattle, if Sue Bird comes around, I got to be like, hey, Sue Bird, you got to help him out. Or Brianna Stewart's now back east, but
yeah, she is.
I was trying to think of some Seattle athletes. Yeah, right. I was thinking some Seattle athletes could get. Is they're trying to get
Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe are kind of the first couple of Seattle. So.
Right. Yes, they are the first. Yes, they are the first couple of Seattle. So but that's all. And I love you working with Casey Whitmore. So I I got to put
Kelsey,
her
yeah.
on the, I got to tag her on this. Kelsey, I'm sorry, Kelsey Whitmore. I got to, okay. Sarah, I thank you so much for your time and everything. You were great today. Anything else you want to finish with?
No, I mean,
Any parting words do you have for?
so great to talk with you. And yeah, we just, love to connect with everyone. So if anyone's interested, get in touch. And yeah, we'll just keep doing the work.
Thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
All right, have a nice day. Thank you so
All
much
right, you
again.
too. All right, bye.
Okay, bye-bye.